So if you're preparing for CBSE Class 10 Basic Maths and looking for the right kind of MCQ practice, then you're in the right place. In this video, I have solved 20 carefully selected multiple choice questions that are specially designed for basic math students. I have put a lot of thought into choosing these questions so that they truly represent the level and pattern you can expect in the exam. A few of them may feel a little challenging, and that's intentional because working through such questions help you understand the chapter more clearly and boost confidence for the actual board exam. I'll explain each question step by step so you know not just the answers but why it works. So grab your pen and notebook, be focused, and let's start solving. Okay, this is our first question. So we'll have to find the roots of the quadratic equation. So how do we find it? Let's start. So I will take the common. So x into 2x is 2x squared. X into minus 3 is minus 3x equals to 0. Now, if this into this equals to 0, let's say this is A into B equals to 0 means what? Either A is 0 or B is 0. So, with that, kept in mind, what we should say is either x equals to 0 or 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So this becomes an equation in one variable. So let's solve this. So one of the roots is 0, another root is 3 by 2. So our correct answer is option B. This means if you put the value of x equals to 0 or 3 by 2, the left hand side also becomes 0, which is equal to the right hand side. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So this is your question number 2. So you'll have to solve this trigonometric function and find the solution. So there are many ways you can convert tan theta into sine by cos, or 1 minus tan, 1 plus tan square theta is sec square theta. So converting all those things, you can get the answer, but the shortest way would be this. 1 minus tan 45 is 1, which is the most easiest trigonometric value to remember. So tan 45 is 1, so square is there, 1 square, 1 plus 1 square. So how much is the answer? It is 1 square is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, so 0 upon 2, it's 0, right? But do you see 0 here? No. So look at option D. So 0 is, we can write 0 as sine 0 degree, because sine 0 degree is also 0. So this is our correct answer. So I hope you understood. Let's move on to another question. So look at this question number 3. The median and mode of a frequency distribution are 32 and 38 respectively. Then the mean is one of these. So how do you find the mean? It's by the direct application of a formula, which is quite important also. The formula is like this. This is the formula. 2 times mean equals to 3 times median minus mode. So let's substitute the values. Our median is 32 and mode is 38. If you bring this to right, so this is 40, 58 by 2, 29. So 29 is the answer. Well, many people struggle to remember this formula. I would suggest you, well, in my way, I would say we often remember mean, median, mode. The three central tendencies come into mind as mean, median, and mode. So mean, median, and mode, right, like this. And remember the numbers or the coefficients that come before them. Like for mean, write 2, 2, 3, and the last one without the coefficient and minus. Mean, median, mode. If you remember this way, I think it will be easier for you. All right, let's do the next question now. Okay, here we have a question from probability. It says a box contains 4 blue, 3 white, and 5 red marbles. If a marble is drawn at random from the box, the probability that it is not a blue marble. Okay, so we'll have to find, let's say, let E be the event of drawing, means drawing a blue marble. And let's say E bar or E dash be the event of not drawing or not picking a blue marble. Okay. Then what is the probability of getting, like, picking the blue marble? So you have how many marbles in total? 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 12 marbles are there in the box or the basket, and you are picking it in random. So probability of getting a blue marble is number of favorable situations or conditions. There are how many blue? 4 out of 12. So which is 1 out of 3. This is the probability of getting a blue marble. While probability of not getting a blue marble is 1 minus probability P of E. So you'll have to use this formula. So it is 1 minus 1 by 3. The answer is 2 by 3. You should know from here also, if P of probability of this is 1 by 3, so the complement of this is the event which is not gonna happen. Okay, so 1 out of 3 is happening means 2 out of 3 is not happening. So this is your answer. Okay, let's do another question. This question says, if quadratic equation curve touches the x-axis, then the value of discriminant is either 1 or -1 or 2 or 0. Let's understand what it means. Okay. If quadratic equation curve touches the x-axis. So far, what have we seen? If uh, if this is your Cartesian plane, x-axis, y-axis, and this is the origin, quadratic equation, when we see it in a graph, it's a U-shaped curve, either in this direction or this direction, isn't it? So the the points where the curve touches the x-axis, so these are the values which we call roots of the equation. These are the values. Let's say, but this is also possible. Let's say this is a y-axis and this is your x-axis. A quadratic equation like this, or let's say, or in the downward direction. Here the curve is intersecting the x-axis at 2 points. Even this one is also intersecting the x-axis at 2 points. But what can you say about these two? The curve, this is a quadratic equation curve or a quadratic polynomial curve. It is not intersecting, while it is just touching the curve. In maths, if we say that a curve touches a line, that means it touches only one point on the curve with the line. Like this line acts as a tangent to the curve. Let's say the point may be any point, let's say A. In this case, you can say point is B. So in at this instant, this is a case where you get the roots of the equation, the two roots of the equation equal. You know a situation where when we solve a quadratic equation, the roots of the equation are same. Let's say the two values of x are, for example, 2 comma 2 or 1 comma 1 or minus 1 comma minus 1. So that is the case where when you plot the equation, when you plot the equation, when you plot the graph of that equation, this is the graph that you see. It will just touch the x-axis at one point. So that means you have two equal roots. So when you have two equal roots, the discriminant is what? It is 0. For example, you can think of a quadratic equation like this. Although I'm taking a little bit more time, but let us understand. X square minus 4x plus 4 equals to 0. If you factorize this equation, you'll get x minus 2 square equals to 0. This means what? This means x minus 2 and x minus 2. This is also a case where the 0 of the polynomial is equal. Except this is the equation for this curve. So you have, although you have two roots, but they are equal, means the curve is just touching the x-axis at one point. So in that scenario, the discriminant is 0. When we have two equal roots, discriminant is 0. That we learn from the nature of roots, isn't it? So let's move on to another question. So question number 6. If the distance between the points 5 comma k and 2 comma 0 is 6, then possible values of k is one of these. Let us solve this question. So let the distance between 5 comma k and let's say 2 comma 0. So this is point A and B. Distance is 6. So what are the possible values of k? Distance formula says the distance between AB is always consider this as x1, y1, this as x2, y2, and if there is a point lying between them, say that is x and y. Okay, x1, y1, xy, say x2, y2. Now distance formula is x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1 is 5 square plus y2 minus y1 is k square. Distance between them, it's given 6. Okay. Squaring both sides, 6 will be squared while this root will vanish because you have squared both sides. So this is 2 minus 5 is minus 3. Minus 3 square is 9. Plus 0 minus k is minus k. Minus k square is plus k square. So this is 6 are 36. 36 minus 9 is how much? 27 equals to k square. So k is equal to plus minus under root 27. So k will have two values. Square means it will have two values, one positive, another one negative. So 27 can be written as, if you prime factorize this number, this 3 into 3 into 3. So ultimately the answer is, I'm writing it here, k is equal to plus minus, this 3 has a pair, so it will come out, another one will stay inside the root, so k equals to plus minus 3 root 3. So this is the correct answer. So let's go to question number 7. Okay, so the question says, if the mean of first n natural number is 5n by 9, then n is equal to one of these. So here is also a direct application of the formula. Mean of first n natural numbers is n plus 1 by 2. Okay. So we know mean is given as 5n upon 9. So if you solve this, it is n equals to 9. So you might be wondering, how come mean of first n natural numbers is n plus 1 by 2? In short, let's understand this. First n natural numbers are 1 plus 1, 2, 3 till n. This is the first n natural numbers. Till n, we don't know the nth term. So this sequence is in AP, arithmetic progression. So if you add this sequence, the sum is n times n plus 1 by 2. This is the sum. Okay. By using the formula for finding sum of an AP, a sequence which is in arithmetic progression, if you use a formula, you'll get the sum as sum of first n terms, first n natural numbers is given by n times n plus 1 by 2. So how do you find mean? Mean means average. So mean means sum of these terms divided by number of terms, right? So number of terms are n. So if you put the values here, this is divided by n. So n and n gets cancelled. So your answer is n plus 1 by 2. This is your mean. That's how we got the mean of first n natural numbers is n plus 1 by 2. So during exam, you know, it's better you remember the formula and directly substitute it and get the answer. So question number 8 is you know a really different kind of question, but it's in your syllabus and it's not that tough if you understand it. It says the sum of areas of three sectors of radius are formed at the vertices of a triangle is. So you see a triangle ABC. So at each vertex, this is the radius, right? The sector uh, which is formed by the radius r. So this r is equal. If this is 5 centimeter from here till here, this is also 5, this is also 5. So if we add these three areas, this area, this area, and this area, what is the answer? Is it 2 pi r square, or half of pi r square? The answer is half of pi r square, because it says that when you when we combine the sectors, the result is the total is always a semicircle. This is what it will be formed. So area of a semicircle, let's say this is the center, area of a semicircle is half of pi r square. So you might wonder how is it? So you can think of like this. The area is found by the formula theta upon 360 degree into pi r square, isn't it? So your r is the same. Theta, what about theta? So sum of angles in a triangle is 180. If you add this, this and this, it is 180. So if you cancel them, it is half of pi r square. So I hope you understood. And this applies for any kind of triangle. It may be a scalene, an isosceles, or an equilateral triangle. Okay. So I hope you like the problem. Next, we move on to another question. Here we have a question from arithmetic progression. How many terms are there in the sequence this? This is an arithmetic, this is an AP sequence, okay? Because the difference is constant. The difference is 3. 7 minus 4 is 3, 10 minus 7 is 3, 13 minus 10 is 3. So the difference is constant. D is 3. The first term is 4, which is denoted by A. How many terms are there? What does that mean? This is your first term, second term, fourth, first, second, third, fourth, and there are many other terms. The last term is this. Okay, this could be 28th term, or let's say 19th term, 100th term, 50th term. So which term is this? So the last term which you denote by an or L is 112. What do we have to find? We'll have to find n. How much is n? So the formula for finding n is, the last term is given by, say, an is let's substitute the value. Last term is 112. Your a is 4. We don't know n. D is 3. 108. If you bring 4 here, it gets subtracted. So we have 3n minus 3. Right? This 3 will come here and it is 3n minus 3. Okay. 111 by 3 equals to n. 9, 57. So there are 37 terms. This is the correct answer. So this 112 is the 37th term. And remember, when we are finding term, means when we are finding n, your answer must always be in whole numbers. Like if it comes in fraction, then you must understand that somewhere you have made a mistake and recheck. Okay, it should always be a whole number. So let's solve this trigonometric equation. Here it says 2 sine 2 theta equals to root 3 such that theta lies between 0 degree and 90 degree. Then the value of theta is, okay, let's see what happens. I can write like this, isn't it? So next I will write so root 3 by 2, I can write this as sine 60 degree. Because sine 60 degrees root 3 by 2. So for now you may consider sine and sine getting cancelled, which we don't show, but they vanish. Okay. So what happens is in the next line you can write 2 theta equals to 60 degree. Therefore theta equals to how much? If you divide by 2, the answer is 30 degree. This is your answer. Okay. So look at this question. Well, you see only a figure, and the question is the value of x is 1 among these. Okay. So it's a question from similarity of triangles. It was lengthy, so I just drew the figure, and PRQ is a triangle and TS is parallel to RQ, and PT is x plus 2, TR is x minus 1, PS is x, and SQ is x minus 2. So how do you find the x? There is a theorem. If this line is parallel to this side, I can write PS upon SQ equals to PT upon TR. x upon s cube is x minus 2, and pt is x plus 2 by x minus 1. Alright, so let's cross multiply and find the answer. If this will come here, and if you multiply, the answer is x square minus x. And if this goes to the other side and multiplies with x plus 2, it will be a plus b into a minus b. It is a square minus b square. It is 4. So x square and x square will get cancelled. Minus x equals to minus 4. So x equals to 4. This is our answer. So I hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. Let us solve this question number 12. This one is also a figure, and it's given AB equals to 3 root 2 centimeter. Find the diameter of the circle. So there's a point P outside the circle, and PA and PB are radius at A and B, and this angle is 90 degree. So how do you find the diameter of the circle? You look here. The theorem says that the radius and the tangent will make 90 degree. This is 90. This is also 90. So all the three sides are 90. And another theorem says that the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral, a four-sided figure, is 360. So this must be 90 degree. Okay. So if this is 90 degree, your triangle OAB, or let's say BPA, both of them are right angle triangles. And I'm talking about, let's consider OAB, and this is your radius. This is also a radius, and this is hypotenuse. Okay. So let's say hypotenuse. So using Pythagoras theorem, you'll get the value of r. So your r is, or let's say, yes, h square equals to r square plus r square, or h square equals to 2r square. How much is h? Put the value. It is 3 root 2 square equals to 2r square. So this is a 9 into 2 equals to 2r square. So 2 gets cancelled. We have r square equals to 9. That means r equals to 3 centimeter. R is plus minus 3, but here r means radius, so you cannot consider the negative one. So r is 3 centimeter. The radius is 3, so diameter is 6. So one way of finding the solution is applying this method. Another is a little shortcut. You should understand that this is also a square. We found out that the three sides, all the four corners are 90 degree, and all the four corners are 90, as well as the two adjacent sides, not the opposite. The two adjacent sides are equal. That is radius and radius. So that makes this quadrilateral a square. So if this is a square, AB is diagonal. So the formula for finding the diagonal of a square is root 2a. This is the formula for finding the diagonal, where a means side, right? A means side. Here side is r. This, if you equate with 3 root 2, so r is straight away 3. So diameter is 6. That way also you need not calculate by using Pythagoras theorem. Although the value of diameter equals to root 2 r is also given by the Pythagoras theorem only. So I guess you understood. Let's move on to another question. All right, this is question number 13. It says the point which divides the line segment joining the points A 0,6 and B 6,0 internally in the ratio 1:3 is, which one is it? So let's solve this question. Let's say this is A 0,6 and B is 6,0. The point which divides the line, okay, internally, let's say the point is here, P. We'll have to find that point. This is xy. Consider this is x1, y1 and x2 and y2 always. Okay, so when a point divides a line internally, always consider this first as x1, y1, middle one xy, and the last one x2, y2. Although it's not a rule, but it will be easier while using it in the formula. In the ratio 1:3, okay, 1:3. This n and this are m. So let us find x and y. So x is given by mx2, mx2. So 1 into 6 is 6, nx1, n is 3 into 0 by m plus n is 1 plus 3 is 4. So x is 6 by 4, it is 3 by 2. So y is my2, so 1 into 0 is 0, plus ny1, so 3 6 are 18 by m plus n, this 1 plus 3 is 4. So if we divide it 18 by 4, if we divide by 2, it's 9 by 2. So this is the correct answer. So if we had 4 options and the fourth one was, let's say, none of these, so just by getting x equals to 3 by 2, we could easily say, oh, this is the answer. You don't have to find y also. But I showed it here, so it was a recall of the formula that's used in this chapter, section formula. Okay, let's go to the other question. Okay, we come to question number 14. It says a red light flashes every 4 seconds and a blue light flashes every 6 seconds. If they flash together now, after how many seconds will they flash together again? So what do we have to do is to find the LCM of 4 and 2. 4 and 6 is 12 seconds. So they'll flash again together again after 12 seconds from now. So this is the answer. A lot of students struggle in understanding word problems that come from HCF and LCM. So whenever you see questions where you'll have to find the least, minimum, something that is repeating, like traffic lights, bells ringing, there you'll find LCM. While if you have to find something that's maximum, highest, or dividing into pieces, or arranging into rows. For those kind of problems, you'll find HCF. All right. So here this was a traffic light problem. So you find LCM and get the solution. Now we'll do the next one. Here we have a question from similarity of triangles. In a triangle ABC and triangle DEF, the two ratios are equal, means they are in proportion. Then they are similar when one of these happens. Okay. So how do we solve is, let us draw the two triangles. Let us quickly draw the two triangles, and let's say this is ABC. Well, I'm not going to name the other triangle DF instantly. Why? Just look here. The sides, the corresponding sides are in proportion. So let's say AB, the corresponding side of AB is EF. So let's say this is the corresponding side of AB. So I will now name this as EF. So obviously this has to be D. And AC is, corresponding side of AC is DE or ED, right? Now when this is true, when this happens, we should know in similar triangles, this angle is equal to this angle. Let's say this X, while if this is Y, this will also be Y. And if this is Z, this will also be Z. Okay. So now compare them. Look at the options. So angle A goes to angle D. A equals to D. No. We see here A is equal to E. So angle A equals to E. So this is the correct answer. So let's move on to another question. Okay, this is our question number 16. If 2 sine square alpha minus cos square alpha equals to 2, then find the value of alpha. Let us solve this question. So, okay. Oops. I can do this, right? Instead of, in place of cos square alpha, I can write 1 minus sine square alpha. Now both of them are sine square alpha. Let's see what happens. So if I open the bracket, it's going to be plus. So it will be 3 sine square alpha minus 1 equals to 2. 3. Right? So you cancel this 3, and then we have sine square alpha equals to 1. So 1 can be thought of as 1 square, which is sine square 90 degree, right? Because sine 90 is 1. Sine 90 is 1, and sine 90 is, square can be written as sine square 90. So both of them are equal. By the way, in trigonometry, this can be any value n. This is true. Whether it's sine or cos or tan, cot, cosec, your n should not be minus 1. So for minus 1, it becomes inverse. So that's a different case. So if n is not minus 1, then this is true for all the trigonometric ratios. So sine square alpha is 1. 1 can be thought of as 1 square. So 1 is sine 90. So 1 square is sine 90 square. So this is sine square alpha equals to sine square 90 degree. Right. So sine square and sine square will get removed. So ultimately alpha equals to 90 degree. This is the correct answer. Alright, now next question. Okay, now let's read this question. The value of k for which the quadratic equation kx square minus 5x plus 1 equals to 0 does not have a real solution is one of these. Okay, so if the quadratic equation does not have a real solution, then you know what? The discriminant is less than 0. That means b square minus 4ac must be less than 0. So how much is b here? b is minus 5, a is k, and c is 1. Let's substitute the values here. So b is minus 5, so square is 25, minus 4 into a is k, that's 4k, less than 0. Okay. So for the solving, you'll see that 25, okay, so it's k is greater than 25 by 4, which is 25 by 4 is this. Okay, so if you find the decimal value, k is greater than 6.4624 6.25. So k's value is greater than 6.25. Look at the options. So k cannot be 0. So 25 by 4, we found out it is 6.25. So k is greater than that. So this is less than 1. So D is the correct option because 7 is greater than 6.25. So this one was a tricky one. I guess you loved it. Let's move on to another one. Okay, this one is another interesting question. Okay, consider the following frequency distribution. You can see here the upper limit of the median class is. Oh no, you'll have to find the median. So you'll have to find the median class and then check and then see the upper limit. So how do you find the median class? We'll have to calculate the cumulative frequency. So how do we calculate? The first data is this only, 11. Second, we add with this 11 plus 12 is 23. 23 plus 13, 36. 36 plus 9 is 45. And 45 plus 11 is 56. This is your total number of observations, n. Okay. So what do we do next is we'll find n by 2. That is 56 divided by 2 is 28, isn't it? Now what do we do is we locate this 28 in the cumulative frequency section such that we look at the class with the cumulative frequency which is greater than 28 but near to 28. Okay, so greater than 28, all of these are greater than 28 but near to 28 is 36. So this class is the median class, and upper limit of this class is 15 while lower limit is 10. So our answer is 15. One more extra information: if you had to find the median, then how would you do it? What is the formula for finding the median? So median is given by L plus n by 2 minus Cf upon F into H. L is the lower limit of the median class, n by 2 in this case is 28. Cf is the cumulative frequency of the preceding class of the median class, means the class that comes before the median class. So this is the Cf used in the formula. While F is frequency of the median class, that's 13, and H is the class width. Considering all of them are equal, so width is 5. So if you put all this formula, means if you substitute all the values, you'll get the median. But here we had to find the upper limit of the median class, which we did. So this was a great question. Let's move on to question number 19. So we have a question from probability. An event is most unlikely to happen. Its probability is this. So which one is the correct answer? An event is most unlikely to happen. What does that mean? There's a very little chance that it will happen. Okay. Or it may not happen also. So that, which one is the probability? Let's check. This can be written as 1 out of 10,000, while this can be written as 1 out of 1,000. This is 1 out of 100. This is 1 out of 10. So an event is most unlikely to happen means there's a very little chance that it will take place is this. Okay. So out of 1,000 possibilities, there's only one chance it can happen. Out of 10,000 possibilities. Out of 1,000, it's 1. Out of 100, it's 1. Out of 10, it's 1. The highest possibility is this. Okay. So the least possibility is this one. That's why option A is the correct answer. Let's move on to the last question. Okay, here comes our final question. Let's solve this quickly and take some rest. Okay. If you read the question, it says if the lines given by 3x plus 2ky equals to 2 and 2x plus 5y plus 1 equals 0 are not parallel, then k has to be, this k has to be one of these. Okay. So if the two given lines are not parallel, so what are the other possibilities? They can either be coincident or, what do you say, intersecting. So coincident here, when will they coincide? Means when the lines are going to be on top of each other, when a1 upon a2 equals to b1 upon b2 equals to c1 upon c2. Let's check your A1. Let's say this is A1, B1, and if you bring 2 to the left side, it is minus 2, that is C1. So that is A1 upon A2 equals to B1 is 2K upon B2 is 5. C1 is minus 2. If you bring this 2 to the left side, minus 2 upon C2 is 1. So, are the lines coincident? No. Let me tell you how and why. So, you cannot decide, you cannot say looking at the Miller term. Okay. Looking at this term, you cannot say whether it's coincident or intersecting because K, we don't know the value of K. So, forget about this. But if this is coincident, the first and the last ratio also must be equal. So looking at them, 3 by 2 is not equal to minus 2 by 1. Therefore, this is not coincident. So if it is not coincident, it has to be intersecting. Because in the question, they are saying it's not parallel either. So if it is intersecting, then it is A1 upon A2 not equal to B1 upon B2. So just substitute the values. 3 by 2 is not equal to 2K by 5. So if you cross multiply, it is 15 by 4 is not equal to K. So this is our answer. Well, that brings us to the end of today's class. I hope these 20 MCQ questions helped you think a little deeper and understand the chapter better. If you found some questions challenging, don't get discouraged. That's exactly how learning happens. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even daily small practice can make a big difference in your confidence and performance. Trust yourself, keep revising, and stay focused on your goal. So, if you like the video, do hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next class. Until then, keep studying and keep practicing.